All right, so we're going to do some hamstring work today. We're going to do that with foam roller and PT stretching strap both. Here. Let's start out with the foam roller. Before we do foam roller, we're going to start out with the big question we always ask. Is it hamstring? Is it sciatic nerve? Because they both go in the same region. Sciatic nerve goes right down between your hamstrings. And sometimes a hamstring problem can be a sciatic nerve problem. That's really kind of the driver of our pain. Um, we have problems with our hamstrings, and then they get a little edema, a little swelling that pushes on the sciatic nerve. So we're going to flush out that edema. We're going to do a neural massage here, chorus curling my legs so that you can see what I'm doing. Don't kick your leg up, it's less effective. But you're just taking your hamstrings and you're just shifting them left, right, left, right, left, right. It's like you're itching. And if you've worked with me before, we've done this before. Working your way all the way to the back of the knee. There might be a little juice you want to give it that back of the knee, and then going to the other side. Other going back up again. And before we do any change, I like science, so I like to do a pre-test and a post-test. A little late for that. We started already, but let's just sink forward and see where we're at. Notice what you feel in your body. Maybe you notice that hamstring that you just worked on is a little bit, it's not my sticking point. It's not what's stuck on me. The other one is. So we're going to go to that side. We're going to do the same thing there. Again, you're just taking your hamstrings left and right, and you're just shifting them away from the leg midline where your sciatic nerve runs. So I said that this right one is tighter. Oh my. Could that be because we just massaged the left sciatic nerve, or could it be because I injured the right one in yoga actually on Friday? So that's actually why we're working on it. Thanks for being here, friends, for letting me work on my yoga. Work on what I need. Hope this will help you too. All right, do another assessment here, taking hinging forward, and well, that helped quite a bit on this right side. So, all right, sitting tall. Let's grab that foam roller. Similar. Go ahead and sit on your foam roller. When I foam roll my butt and hamstrings, I do like to bring the ground closer. I like to have blocks on either side. So go ahead and grab them. And geez, the gluteals are calling to me. So I'm going to go up from the ischial tuberosities, up from your sits bones towards your hips. So buttocks really is what I'm working on right here. And just breathing through that. And from here, we're going to roll past the ischial tuberosities into the leg, into the hamstring region. There it is. I'm bringing my blocks with me as I move my body back. And then we're going to work on just one hamstring. I'm going to keep juicing back with this. We'll go with the left one first. And working still really up top of that hamstring at that ischial tuberosity, and your hamstrings attach on the inside and the outside of your sits bones. So kind of roll your leg out to the side and see if you can't sits bones push in against your foam roller a little bit on the outer edge. Getting the inside just a little bit. Moving down into the belly of the muscle here. Long rolls for me, maybe short rolls for you, whatever serves you today. And again, turning your leg out to the side, getting that biceps femoris just a little bit more there on the outer edge. And inside, turning your foot in, getting your semi-tendinosis, semi-membranosis. And we're going to work on those with hands a little bit. So taking your hands just around your knee, just rubbing the front of your knee, the sides of your knees. There's a little nubbin on the inside front of the knee, and that's where some of your hamstrings attach to, including some of your fake hamstrings, your adductors. Let's go ahead and massage those now. So I'm going to use lobster claw grip here and just going to inner thigh here, eating through there, all the way up towards the groin. On to the other side. Good morning, hamstring. Other side. So back up on my blocks for me. And then just rolling through again at the ischial tuberosity on the right. Ischial tuberosity or sits bone. And going out to the side a little bit, getting those biceps femoris actually. So my membranosus attachment on the lateral, I think. And then flipping to the inside. You'll forgive me if I'm wrong, I'm sure. Thank you. Appreciate that, Grace. All right. And then moving to the belly of the muscle. And then rolling to the outer leg, getting that now, I'm sure of it, biceps femoris. And there's just a little like half of the muscle starts at, like halfway to two-thirds down the leg. So that might be interesting just to kind of hang out there. I got to keep moving back with my body here, getting the inside just a little bit more. And I think I'm done with the foam roller. Moving that off to the side, doing my manual work with my hands here. I'm going to the knee, just doing some circles around the knee. And then getting my adductor with my lobster claw grip here and just kind of massaging through there. Sitting tall here, breath in, exhale, hinge forward. So if you have a freshly injured hamstring, deep stretch is not where you want to be. If you have a week old hamstring and you're recovering, you've been doing your strength work like me, and it wasn't so bad to begin with, then you can go ahead and find a deep stretch. So here I am kind of pushing into a little bit of range of motion. Yep, all that good work gave me a little bit more. Going back to, is it hamstring? Is it sciatic nerve? Perhaps it's both. I come down onto our mats, grab your stretchy strap, slow controlled. Come all the way down. Now, this is a great thing to do if you are have a hamstring issue or a hip issue, or if you're just a human. This is a great thing to do right here. Get some resilience in your nervous system and give this people for people with complex pain in their head and neck. This whole system nerve glides are great. So you're gonna take that strap, you're gonna put it on top of your foot. And I like to crisscross it just so I can get a good handle on my foot. I've got a green band, so not super big amount of resistance here. Just gonna pump your leg up towards the ceiling. And can you add some gas pedaling in with it? And maybe pointing your toe as you come up, bending it as you come down. So all my joints, ankle, knee, and hip are all getting this. You don't need to breathe a certain way or do this slow controlled. You just need to knock out about 20, 15, 20 reps. I'm wishing I had shoes on right now. Are you wishing that? Kind of pushing it on your foot. We can tolerate it. Let's go across midline just a little bit here. Again, notice what you feel. If you have any big zings on this, please back off. You should be not not shouting to your nerve, just a little bit of a whisper. If you feel nothing, great. You're doing it right. All right, that was about 15 to 20, maybe. Switching to the other leg. And other, your right leg can be down on the ground or it could be bent, either one. And again, you're gonna bend and straighten your lefty. Bending at the hip, bending at the knee, bending at the ankle, and then straightening those three joints. Now, the use of the band is just to turn muscles on. You don't progress on this to harder band. It's not about building muscle here. It's just about having some engagement as we're gliding this nerve. I'm not counting. Just So I don't know, maybe we're at 15 or 20. I think let's call it that. Curling knees up in the chest. Push your low back into the mat. Because the sunshine has me feeling playful, I'm going to roll up. I'm going to rock and roll about 3 or 4 times to come up into sitting. You can make your way up any way that you'd like. Yes, on this nice hard ground. I got a nice pop in my back there. We'll land for a moment, maybe in a boat pose, just to turn on your abdominals. And then from here, legs out in front. Let's find a long sit here. Tall spine here. Spread your toes wide. Find Dandasana here. In Dandasana, engage your glutes, engage your shoulder blades, engage your belly. Now push down into the mat. Strong glutes, strong heels pushing down. Can you hinge forward with a flat back? This is usually more than I cue. I think I've been shy about cueing it more fully, but here we are. Keep pushing down into the ground with active legs. If you're feeling like you can take this into a little bit more range of motion, allow your body to do so. And there's no need to find deep range of motion here. Take your right arm high, float it behind you. Take your left arm high, float it behind you. We're just going to take a moment in our mermaid sit just to get some inner thigh nerve glides going. So you're going to find Z sit, left or right, does not matter. And just roll your hips one direction and the other. When you're done doing that, coming into your seated cobbler's pose, soles of both feet together, clasping your hands at the outer edges of your feet and hinge forward. Long spine and sink into this. Again, it's not how close you get to your feet, it's about the sense of openness that we can create. It might feel good to take your hands and peel your big toes apart, just kind of maybe adding on to some of that range of motion you might experience. Breathing into your belly and breathing out. From here, coming into your quadruped position, hands below shoulders, knees below hips. Let's immediately sink it back into child's pose just for a moment. Let your forehead find the ground, fingers come forward, knees wide. Shimmy your hips left and right here. We're going to have yogi's choice today, either using quadruped or downward facing dog as a point to come into a lunge. If you're flowing with me, you're going to stay into quadruped. I'm changing my mind on that. Nope, I'm going to go into down dog, but you can stay in quadruped. Coming up on all fours to start out with. And if you're flowing with me, now that you're thoroughly confused, if you're flowing with me, we'll go to down dog. If you'd rather stay in quadruped, that is not going to impact your flow at all. So in down dog, I'm pedaling out my feet. Encourage you to do the same too, maybe finding some length in your hamstrings here. If you're in quadruped, um, find some wiggles of your hips left and right. I'm going to come up on tippy toes, and we're all going to come down to quadruped. Inhale, find cow pose, squeeze shoulder blades together, let your belly sink. Shimmy your hips left and right. Exhale, tuck your tail, find your cat pose. Maybe make your head do some wiggles left and right. Inhale, find your cow. Shimmy your tail feathers. And exhale, find your cat, tuck tail under, style. Neutral spine. So from here, going back into either downward facing dog or staying in your quadruped. Once we get there, go ahead and take your right leg high, and that would be straight behind you in your quadruped. Home, you might be a person who wants to take your leg way high and flip it over. You go right ahead, find some juicy movements here. If you want to work on a little bit of glute and hamstring work, go ahead and keep your right leg low. Work on squaring your hips off and bend your left knee a little bit. That's going to make your left posterior chain work quite a bit more than if you were to flip your leg up and over. So think about physics. From wherever you're at, from your half bird dog on quadruped or in your downward facing dog, breath in, exhale, stepping right foot forward. We're going to come into a lizard lunge, right foot to the outside of right hands. And I forgot to grab my blocks for front of mat. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Blocks can come down to the ground, bringing the ground closer to you, sinking a little bit forward and a little bit back. I'm going to add some shoulder mobility in with this. So let's sink forward in our lizard, taking right arm high. And then exhale, reaching it behind us. Maybe it's taking right hand and reaching it towards the inside of our left knee. Where's the inside of your left knee? From here, taking right arm high, shift hips back so they're more 90-90. Exhale, take a right hand between your legs, and you're going to kind of reach for your left inside of your knee once again. So shift your hips back. Inhale, right arm comes high, hips come forward. Exhale, reach right arm back, hips are still forward. Inhale, taking right arm high. Exhale, hips shift back, right arm reaches back towards the left knee. Inhale, right arm high. Hips come forward. Exhale, reaching back, hips are still forward. Inhale, right arm high. And exhale, reach it back. Taking this whole operation now to the left long edge of the mat. I'm going to bring my blocks with me. Coming into a kickstand quadruped, toes pointing forward, and finding some more cat cow. Tuck and release your pelvis here. And what does that have to do with our hamstrings? Well, a lot, actually, twice as much as the knees do. So what does that mean? That means if you want to stretch your hamstring for every 2 degrees, how does that work? For every 1 degree of lengthening at the pelvis, you get the same amount of lengthening as 2 degrees at the knee. So basically, being able to wiggle your pelvis does a lot to maintain the mobility of your hamstrings throughout the day. Bend your right knee. You're going to point your right knee out towards the right long edge of the mat, sinking into it. Sometimes it feels good to take that heel almost forward, taking your knee, pointing it at the back right corner of the mat. A little bit of inner thigh here. Blocks can stay where they're at, or they can come to the front edge of the mat, frontishness of the mat, taking 10 fingers high, find a half warrior two, gazing out over right fingertips here. Now, can we think about the hamstring? Because it controls the bend of the knee. So allowing your glute to engage as you sink forward, allowing that bottom of the thigh engage, stabbing your your right foot into the ground as you're doing this. Let's find a half reverse, taking right arm high as we sink forward. And on exhale, coming towards gate pose. So maybe not full straight in the right knee. Left arm is high. Inhale, coming into a half reverse. Exhale, coming into a partial gate. Inhale, half reverse. Exhale, partial gate. Facing long edge of the mat, 10 fingers high, float them down. Puff your chest, inhale. And exhale, invitation to humble this towards the long edge of the mat. Allow your knee to maybe bend and straighten on the right. It's a little bit of a balance challenge here. Opportunity to tick-tock your torso left and right. From here, we're going to go towards the right long short edge of the mat, framing your right foot, finding a half splits here. Tall spine and juice your right foot forward. Still a little bit of a cranky hamstring here, so I'm not going to stretch it too much. No need to do that. In fact, maybe we build some strength by taking that right heel and digging it into the ground. As you're doing that, maybe your right hip can pull back just a little bit, engagement right there. And release that. Digging in your hamstring again. And release. You're just digging your heel in. You're pushing it into the ground with a bent knee. Breath in and out. Sole of the right foot to the ground. I'm going to bring it back a little bit. So we're framing our right foot with our blocks. Left toes push into the ground. Inhale. And on exhale, pushing up into a long stance pyramid. Stepping left foot in, perhaps coming into a full pyramid with both heels down to the ground. And finding what you need in this. So there might be a calf stretch that your brain is wanting to focus on the left. Go ahead and kind of sink into this push ball of left foot into the ground, and pulling back on your right hip will assist that. But can you maybe engage your inner thighs together? Getting some intensity there. Scissors closing at the top there. And even digging your right heel into the ground. Maybe you found some hamstring lengthening, but maybe you want to work on hamstring activation. Digging that heel into the ground, go very light with your hands on the mat, on the blocks rather, using your muscles. And exhale, maybe let that activation go, sink into this just a little bit more. Eventually coming back down to the mat, left knee, then right knee down to the ground, taking these wide feet together. Settle in, maybe fingers go forward. Find your breath in. Find your breath out. From here, coming up into quadruped position, walks to the front of the mat, finding one cow pose, one cat pose. Finding either your bird dog or coming into downward facing dog if you're me. And again, option to lift in down dog, lifting left leg high, 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 or keeping it low if you'd like to build just a little bit of intensity, a little bit of muscle. Slight bend to your right knee can help with that. And you should be feeling that in your right side. If you're in a bird dog position, you're going to find the intensity on the left side. Breath in. And on exhale, we're all going to step left foot forward, coming into our lizard lunge here. Sinking forward and back. And let's add in some shoulder mobility, taking left arm high, inhale. And just hold this for a moment, maybe a circle of your wrist. Reaching back with your left arm, exhale. Inhale, taking left arm high. Exhale, hips go back as left hand reaches towards the inside of your right knee. Inhale, hips come forward, left arm goes high. Exhale, hips stay forward, left arm reaches back. Inhale, hips are forward, left arm high. Exhale, hips go back, reach back. Inhale, left arm high, hips are forward. Exhale, hips are forward, reach left arm back. Inhale, left arm high. And one more, sinking hips back, reaching towards the inside of your right foot. Take this whole operation to the right long edge of the mat, taking left toes out to the side, finding your kickstand quadruped here. Taking left knee, pointing it out to the side, doing a sink forward and back. From here, adding in shoulders, so bringing 10 fingers high. And on exhale, taking arms wide, finding your half warrior two. An invitation even to make left knee point out to the side slightly, heel pointing towards that long edge that we were just looking at. Maybe adding in some shoulder mobility, so coming into a half reverse and a partial gate pose. Partial because left knee has a bend in it. I can't make it straighten from here. Inhale, left arm high. Exhale. Inhale, left arm high. Exhale, coming into your 8. Inhale, left arm high. Exhale, half gate pose. Let's take 10 fingers high, float your hands down, puff your chest. And exhale, find your humble here facing the long edge of the mat. Maybe finding a tick-tock of your shoulders, of your torso. From here, 10 fingers down, scooping up blocks. If they're not at the front of the mat, bring them there. Frame your left foot. Find your half splits here. Finding half splits, however, it serves you. So some people love to slide back, get their right heel down to their right or right glute down to their right heel. I like it to stay high because I told you, you want to have a little bit of cow spine here to get some opening in that left hamstring. All right. And from here, maybe we dig the left heel into the ground, turning on that muscle just a little bit and then let that go. Turn that muscle on and let it go. And once again, turn that muscle on and let that muscle go. Finding whatever openness serves you in this. Scooching the left foot back considerably so it's framed by blocks. Push right toes into the ground. Inhale. And exhale, find your long stance pyramid. Thinking about what in your body, what your body needs right now. So finding whatever stretches it needs. Maybe working calf stretch on that right foot. Long spine here, sinking into this. Now, can we think about two along with stretching right calf? Maybe finding a stretch in your left hamstring too. Can we think about stability, creating stability by pulling back on that left hip, engaging inner thighs together? I did step my foot in a little bit into full pyramid. I didn't cue that though verbally. I just did it. Sorry about that. Hands to blocks to sink into range of motion if that's your medicine this morning, or hands away from blocks if you're just trying to build a little bit. Breath in and exhale. We're going to come down to your right knee. I'm going to place your right hand underneath right shoulder, taking left arm high, opening up to the side. Find a modified side plank here, taking left arm to the beyond your head, reaching towards the short end of the mat in front of you. And I totally skipped this on the other side. So you're going to take your left hand down. We're going to find the same thing on the opposite side. Left hand down underneath left shoulder, opening to the opposite side. And from here, 10 fingers down to the ground, finding your child's pose. Not a lot of adductor opening today in my mind. So if you want to find a frog pose, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, maybe a knees wide child's pose is good medicine for you. Settle in. Coming into quadruped, well, I'll do one cow pose and one cat. Neutral spine. Taking your toes into the ground. If you'd like to move into downward facing dog, go ahead and do this. And wherever we're at, we're going to raise right leg high. Maybe that's a little bit high in your down dog to work your left hamstring and glute. Maybe you are belly tight, lifting right leg high in your bird dog. Maybe you've kicked it up and over. Breath in. Exhale, we step right foot forward, coming into our lizard lunge, left knee down to the ground. Blocks to assist if you'd like, bringing ground higher, sinking forward and sinking back. Maybe just a few oscillations with the arm. Right arm comes high. Exhale, reaching back. Right arm comes high. And exhale, reaching it to the inside of your left knee, left calf. Inhale, right arm comes high. Exhale, reach it back. Hips are forward. Inhale, right arm high. Exhale, hips shift back as you reach right hand towards left knee. Taking this whole operation to the left long edge of the mat. Blocks can come with. Find your cat cows. Right leg goes out to the side. Now bending your right knee, sinking towards the front of the mat. Let your head hang. Make sure you're breathing. Taking 10 fingers high, breath in. On exhale, finding your half warrior two, gaze out over right fingertips and sink forward, maybe towards that front end of the mat. Taking right arm high as we sink forward and right arm to inside of right leg, finding partial gate. Inhale, right arm high, partial gate. Inhale, right arm high, exhale, partial gate. Take 10 fingers high, float your hands down, puff your chest, inhale. And on exhale, hinging into your humble here. Scooping up blocks, coming to the front of the mat, framing your right foot. And sinking your weight forward and back in this half splits if that feels good. Option to fly your monkey if that feels good in you. Option to just a little bit more range of motion if you'd like. Long spine and hinge into this. I'm going to take a moment to stab my right heel into the ground here, engaging hamstring, engaging glute. Breath in, exhale, glide your right foot back between hands, pushing left toes into the ground. Inhale. And on exhale, coming up into your long stance pyramid, maybe hiking that into full pyramid. Pull back on your right hip, long spine here, and you choose. Do you want to sink in and find some range of motion? Do you want to really work on activation and moving hands away from the blocks? Going back on your right hip. Inner thighs engaged, pulling in towards each other, but feet are almost like ripping the mat in half front to back. Let's take 10 fingers down to blocks. Left knee will come down to the ground. Take left hand underneath left shoulder, and from here we'll find a modified side plank. Right arm is high. Option to kick your right leg high. Option to bring it down to the ground for a deeper stretch. Breathing in. Exhale, taking 10 fingers down to the ground. Sink into child's pose just for a moment. Breath in and breath out. Coming up into quadruped, one cow pose, one cat pose. And making your way into your partial or half bird dog or downward facing dog. And on inhale, left leg comes high, a little high for more right leg activation, a lot high for more left hip opening. Breath in. Exhale, we step the left foot forward, coming into lizard lunge. Sink it way forward, sink it back, add arm movements in. Left arm comes high, inhale. Reach it back on exhale. Inhale, forward hips, left arm high. Exhale, sinking hips back or reach for right knee. Inhale, left arm high, left arm high. Exhale, reaching back. Inhale, left arm high, hips forward. Exhale, hips shift back or reaching back. One more inhale, left arm high. Exhale, reaching back. Inhale, left arm high. Exhale, hips come back. Take these blocks to the right long edge of the mat. Left toes pointing at long edge. Find your cat cow here. Maybe bending your right knee, pointing it out to the side, sinking into it and back. Taking 10 fingers high. Find your half warrior two. Gaze out over strong left shoulders. Adding in some arm movement. So coming forward into a partial reverse, half reverse warrior. Exhale, coming into a partial gate pose. Inhale and exhale. Exhale, float your hands down, maybe clasping them at low back, puff your chest. Option to come into a humble here. Taking 10 fingers down to the ground. Blocks come with as we frame left foot, half splits. Reposition your knee, left leg reaches forward. and finding what serves you in this pose. Some days are days that I just want to find a splits. Some days are days that I want to engage and just dig my heel in. And that's what I'm gonna do today, digging heel in. Just sustaining that. I'll find a quick release of that before I come into my long stance pyramid. Scooch back left foot between blocks, right toes come into ground. Inhale. On exhale, find your long stance pyramid, maybe hiking that into a full pyramid, both heels to the ground. Engaging your glutes to pull back your left hip, engaging your glutes to find stability here. Maybe taking hands away from blocks to find that engagement, or letting hands sink in the blocks, finding range of motion. I'm taking 10 fingers down to blocks, bringing your right knee down to the ground. Right hand will come underneath right shoulder. Modified side plank as left arm comes high, left foot goes to foot in a mat. So two. Reach to opposite ends of the mat. Option to keep your left leg elevated. Breath in and exhale, coming down to the ground. Let's come into quadruped. Inhale, find cow. Exhale, find cat. Inhale, find cow. And exhale, find cat. So I'm going to turn to face a long edge of the mat. I'm going to go to the left. If it's easier to see me going to the right, go ahead and do so. Turning to the left, pulling my right knee forward. My right foot will be in on midline. A little bit of hurdler stretch here as left leg comes out to the side. Left hand comes to the inside of left knee. Right hand comes up and over. If you are facing the opposite direction, that's fine. It's just great. Maybe cactus your arm, looking up beyond your right shoulder. Going back to that overhead reach, taking right hand towards your left foot here. Let's core control. Take 10 fingers high, slow and control. Milk this. Rotate your torso facing left foot. Inhale. And exhale. Hinge into this. Push down with your outer right knee, coming into your hurdler's pose. Flat back, hinge into this. There may be inner thigh here. There may be hamstring. There may be just a lot of back. This one will kind of open you up where you have the restriction. Staying right here, if you're feeling like you want a glamorous transition, take your right arm high, planting that beyond your right knee. You can swoop up into a stargazer. Left arm reaches. And then we sink back into our hips, switching, going to the opposite side. Right foot comes to the front of the mat. Right elbow to the inside of right knee. Left arm is high. Breath in. Exhale, cactus your left arm, looking up and over beyond your left shoulder. Reaching left arm high. Inhale. Exhale. Let's core control as 10 fingers come high. Remember to root down into the ground with the outer edge of your right leg. Breath in. Exhale, rotate to the right and then hinge into your other stretch. Pushing down with the outer edge of your left knee, flat back. Hinge just a little bit further. Staying here for a little extra, or if you want to come out of this, like I said, with a little swoosh, taking left arm high, float it beyond your left knee. Find your stargazer poses, right arm comes high here. And from here, our hips are all going to come down to the ground, both feet to the front of the mat. Flat back, hinging into this. A little bit of prasarita first, or sorry, Dandasana, pushing your heels down into the ground. And hinge into this. You have a stretchy strap. If you'd like to double that stretchy strap and get some deeper range of motion by having a pull be a part of your practice, go right ahead and do so. Coming out of this, Finding a hip opener. So maybe right foot to the outside of left knee, right arm comes up and over. If you prefer pigeon on the ground, if that's what your body's craving in this 45-minute segment, then you go right ahead and find that. And perhaps there's a little hamstring edge that we can mobilize by finding your rock your baby just for a moment here. And then hand to the ground to roll onto the outer edge of that ischial tuberosity. Once again, there might be just a little bit of hamstring we're talking to, a lot of lateral hip, just a touch of hamstring maybe. Taking both legs long, taking left leg coming up and over, left hand plants behind your left hip, right elbow high, and lands outside of left knee, tall spine, and we twist. Again, if you're in a supine pigeon, that's a great place to be. In opposite direction. And from here, go ahead and once again, rock your baby. Taking left hand, coming onto outer hip. There are more poses that are calling to you. Make sure that you go ahead and find those. If you're flowing with me, belly tight as we lower down, then bringing one knee up into your chest. Let the other knee follow. Lift your hips to really get some low back real estate on the ground. And this might be a place you want to hang out for a while. And that's just great. But maybe happy baby, elbows to the insides of knees, hands to feet, and settling in. Breath in, and breath out. You're feeling ready to be done, taking one leg long into your Shavasana and let the other leg follow. Your eyes float shut and settle in. And thank you so much for flowing with me today. It was an honor to be able to come out and share this joy, this weather joy I have, just building all this happiness and maybe an outlet for it. Wish you truly a beautiful and joy-filled day, regardless of your weather. Namaste, friends.